Well, where are you going to go? Let's start there. I mean, sell the team to who? I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, you want to have this debate. You know, if you want to look at what would you do with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, compete more in the current economic system that this game exists, it would be to pick it up and move it somewhere else. Yeah. And so be careful what you ask for.
I don't want to put you in a tough spot here, but some comments from earlier this morning on the radio are making their rounds on social media. I was just going to try to give you a platform to respond to kind of what you said earlier today. I think some fans are taking it the wrong way, possibly, or feeling like they're rubbed the wrong way.
Okay, what you have to be more specific.
Just saying that, you know, what else are they going to do?
Well, the answer is, are you going to abandon being a Reds fan? Are you going to abandon following this team? We haven't abandoned it. We haven't abandoned investing in the team and the community. So the point is, how about everybody just settle down and celebrate and cheer for the team? You can hate on us all you want. We're not going anywhere. We haven't abandoned our commitment to winning and investing in this franchise and in this community. So the point is, stay tuned and be a fan. Celebrate these guys and look what they did in Atlanta and come out here and celebrate that today. So whatever the message was heard, what I mean is stay loyal to your team and the players that give you 110% effort every day.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new series here on the channel, the first official series of the Juice Baseball channel. I've put out a couple of videos now where I've done some different things here and there. I had a Matt Harvey video. We did the 25 and under episode, or a little like what if thing would happen. And so now we're getting into an actual in-depth series. I hope you guys do enjoy it. It's going to be covering my favorite baseball team, the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah, now I know what you may be thinking. The Cincinnati Reds have not had a very good history in the past. They have won a few World Series, but not since 1990. I wasn't even alive the last time the Reds won the World Series with the Big Red Machine and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, they've had some legendary players on their roster, but for the past 20 or so years, there really hasn't been much success. They've made the playoffs a few times. They've had an MVP. Joey Votto won an MVP in 2010, but other than that, the success has been very, very sparse. Very, very hit or miss with this team, to say the least. But the future, some could say, is pretty bright. You have young starting pitching with Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft. You've got some good young starting pitching. You've got some good young hitters. Jonathan India won Rookie of the Year last year. You've got some decent stuff working in the farm system too. It's just a matter of putting it all together and actually putting it together on the field and winning baseball games. That's really the only thing. And yes, there's been some controversy with the Castellini family who own the team. They've said some things during the beginning of this season in real life that fans did not really get on board with, including me. And they've basically, over the past 10 years or so, have told fans without actually telling fans that they're not committed to winning. They're committed to not paying any money, and they're committed to just being a laughing stock of the league, basically is what they've said. So we're gonna change that. We've kicked out the Castellinis. They don't exist anymore. They're living under a bridge. We stole all their money. We're the billionaires now. We run this team. Not just me, but all of you guys. We run this team as a collective. We now own the Cincinnati Reds. We control what we spend money on, who we spend money on, and who we draft in the draft, who we trade for, who we sign in free agency. We control all of that stuff. No longer do the Castellinis. So, with all that being said, let's meet the team, because maybe some of you aren't familiar with who is on this roster. So, our best player, I'm using a custom roster that has the new 2022 rookies, like Kumar Rocker and Drew Jones, those kind of guys, the guys that were just drafted literally like a month ago. those are the guys that this is the class, or that class is in the roster that I'm using. So some of the overalls have been updated. Tyler Stevenson is our best overall player at catcher. He is hurt in real life. I don't know by the time this video coming back if he's back or not. I don't think he will be. But he's young. He's 25 years old, B potential. He's got some good stuff going for him. He's a good young catcher. But he could also maybe move to first base because he does have some injury history. As I've just mentioned, he's currently injured in real life, and he's been injured for a lot of the season on and off. So he may have some injury history. Maybe we have to move him to first base when this guy right here, Joey Votto, retires. He is one of the most historic Reds players of all time, and as I mentioned, he did win an MVP this season, 2010, when he won the MVP, hitting .324, slugging .600, hit 37 home runs, but he hasn't really done much since then. He's had some really good seasons, don't get me wrong. He's had some really, really solid seasons. He's one of the best on-base guys in the entire MLB, maybe even in history, top 15, maybe top 10, and he's a Reds legend, a Reds Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's an MLB Hall of Famer, maybe he's an MLB Hall of Famer, but he's certainly, no doubt about it, a Reds Hall of Famer. So he is going to stay for his entire career. We're going to keep him around, whether that's as a DH or continuing to be the first baseman. I don't know what's going to happen, but he is still going to be here until he retires. Then we have Hunter Greene, one of our young prospects, a rookie this season, who is going to make his debut as the second starter, because if we go to the starting pitcher, I have Luis Castillo as the opening day starter because he's normally the opening day starter, and yeah, his overall doesn't really reflect being an opening day starter. I still believe in him to be the ace of this team, at least for season 1. But along with Hunter Greene, we have Tyler Mahle, however you want to pronounce his name. He is also a decently young pitcher. Not as young as Hunter Greene. He's 27, so he's not super young, but he is on the younger side of things. And he might be a good rotation piece for us in season number 1. Maybe he goes to the bullpen in season 2, or maybe we trade him for something else. I don't really know. We have Graham Ashcraft. I talked about him in the opening. He is also one of our young prospects, rookie this season. Doesn't have great potential, but he could grow. Obviously, potential does change in MLB The Show, so he could definitely bump that up. And then Nick Lodolo, the other top 50 prospect along with Hunter Greene that is going to hopefully be the future of this organization in terms of the starting pitching. I'm hoping that a couple of years down the road, we have Hunter Greene and Nick Lodolo in the mid to high 80s and maybe even the low 90s. And they're both like the 1-2 go-to pitchers in our rotation. Along with Ashcraft, I'm hoping that he's here too. We also have veteran Mike Minor, but I don't think he's going to be long for this team. Maybe he's a deadline move later in the summer. I don't know what happens with him, but I'm not a really big fan of him. I wasn't even really a fan of him when he was in Atlanta, when he was actually at his best. So, I mean, he's probably not going to be here for very long. Another young, promising pitcher that we have is Justin Dunn, who came over in the Jesse Winker trade. That happened before the season started with the Eugenio Suarez deal too. That was the same trade. He came over from the Mariners. He's good. He's 26 years old. He has not really gotten a whole lot of use. I mean, 11 starts last season, 10 starts the year before. If he can develop in AAA, maybe he's the third starter in our rotation later on. Who knows? It's really up to development at this point. We're really in the game's hands when it comes to development. But we have young guys like Chase Petty, who's 18 years old. He's going to be starting in, maybe he starts in AA since he's only a 64 overall. That's probably the better option. Let's move him down to AA, and then we'll just move, I don't know, this guy. No, let's move, no, this guy's 26. Let's move this guy to Class A. Who cares? We'll move him to Class A so that Chase Petty can start in AA. I feel more confident with that. But we also have Brandon Williamson, who's 23 years old. He's going to be starting in AAA this season, along with like Robert Duggar, Vladimir Gutierrez, Ben Lively will be down there. So Connor Overton's down there as well. So we've got some decent starting pitchers in the farm system, but that can always be improved on, and it will be improved on in this series. Going to the relief pitching, we have TJ Antone, we have Jeff Hoffman, Justin Wilson, and Luis Cessa. Not a deep bullpen, and that's one thing. That's probably the one knock. If there's two knocks on the Reds on the field, it's their bullpen always sucks every year, and they most of the time cannot score any runs. So 2 of the most important things you need to win baseball games, the Reds don't usually have. So we're going to look to improve the farm system in terms of everything on the field, and most importantly, the relief pitching, because we do not have a good bullpen at all. Our bullpen down low in the AAA system, in the AA system, is not great either. There's not a whole lot of development. There's not a whole lot of potential. So we are going to be struggling for sure with bullpen. Into the closing pitchers, we have Alexis Diaz, who is a nice young closing pitcher. Hopefully can turn into something, maybe. We also have Lucas Sims, who's going to be in the bullpen and probably going to be the closing. No, he's going to be the setup man probably, because we'll have, I think since he's an 80 overall, we'll have Diaz be the closer. We have Santillan going to be in the AAA system, and then Daniel Duarte is going to close out the AA team. Hopefully, in the future drafts, we can get some closing pitchers that are actually really, really good. Moving on to catcher, we talked about Tyler Stevenson already being our highest overall player. We also have Matthew Nelson, who is not probably going to be in the plans for very long. He's okay. He's not anything like spectacular. Plus, he's already 23, so who knows? But we do have Logan Tanner, who is 21 years old, B potential. Could turn out to be something. He's going to start the year in AAA, see if he can make something happen there. We are going to move on to first base, where we have Joey Votto, who we talked about already. And the first base depth is not there. We have Colin Moran in AA. We have Christian Santana in single A. Sal Stewart's going to be in AA. We might as well move you to AAA, Colin Moran, so that you can be AAA starting first base, and then Sal Stewart can start it at first base down in AA. Second base, we've talked about Jonathan India being one of the future pieces of this team, but he is 25, so he's like not super young, but he's still really, really good. Really, really good second baseman. Donovan Solano is also here at second base, but he's more of just a fill-in role player guy. We have Alejo Lopez. We have Tyler Callahan, who is going to be starting in AA for this season. And then we have Ivan Johnson, who's also going to be in AA. And then these 2 guys can be in AAA. Then we move to one of my favorite prospects in this entire organization, Elly De La Cruz, who has been absolutely dominating in single A in Dayton Dragons. He has been killing it in real life. And he's a power guy. He's a beast of a hitter. And he's going to be one of the future pieces of this team. I'm very excited to see the progress that he makes this season. Obviously, we have Moose, Mike Moustakas, who is making a ton of money for 2 seasons to not be a very good player. I don't really think it's worth it to keep him around. He's probably going to be a deadline move as well. We have Brandon Drury, who should have been an all-star in real life this year. He's been having a really, really good season. One of the best players on the team in real life. He's been very good. Maybe if he gets hot during the year, he's a deadline piece too, because he's probably a deadline piece in real life, depending on when this video goes up. I think it'll go up before the deadline, so he'll probably still be on the team by the time this video goes up. Then we have Tyler Motter. He's not really much because he's 32 years old. But we have the first-round pick of this year's draft, Cam Collier. Well, our first-round pick, Cam Collier. He can play outfield, third base, and first base, but third is his primary position. Him and Elly De La Cruz, I am very excited about because they can play all the positions. They play the same position, third base, first base, and then all the outfield stuff. They're both decently fast, although De La Cruz is a little bit faster. A potential. Cruz has got some work to do, and so does Collier, a little bit more work to do. But I am excited to see how these guys work. We do have Reese Hines as well, who I do like, but he's going to be, I don't know, just like a rotational guy. I don't really even know. I guess we could make Elly De La Cruz be the AAA starter. Let's do that. Let's make him be the AAA third baseman so that Collier can start and so can Reese Hines. And then Cruz will get some minutes in Louisville or get some at-bats in Louisville, and then Collier and Hines can get some at-bats in the Lookouts organization. So we'll move on to shortstop. Kyle Farmer, who I do like. He's not going to be really like, I don't know what you want to say. Like, he's not going to be a staple of this team. He's not going to be a building block, but he's a good player. He's a good baseball player. Matt McClain, also a young prospect who can basically play anywhere on the field. He is a very good utility guy. He doesn't really do anything amazing. He's got decent fielding, decent speed. He'll be a good player for us. He just needs more time to develop. So does Jose Torres. Needs more time to develop in AAA. Then we've got Jose Barrero, who hopefully can turn into something down in AA. I'm really hoping that he can. And then we have not really much else in the shortstop field, but I did bring back Aristides Aquino. I think he got designated for assignment or something in real life, but I like the Punisher. I have a soft spot for him, so I think he's just basically a power guy. That's all he does. He swings hard and he strikes out a lot. But I do like Aquino. I think he's going to be good for us in the AA system. And if he starts to heat up, maybe we bring him up for a DH spot in the big leagues. Who knows? Tommy Pham will be our starting left fielder. Good veteran player. Has been having a decent season. He's gotten hot as of late in real life. But he'll be here starting in left field. We got Jake Fraley, 26-year-old guy. Also came over in the Winker Suarez trade from Seattle. Maybe he turns into something. Who knows? We have TJ Hopkins, who's not really going to be much. Justin Boyd has a chance to be something with B potential, 21 years old. Then we go to the center field spot, Nick Senzel. If he can stay healthy, he can be a trade piece for us. He's another utility guy. We have Jay Allen, who's going to start the season in AA. He is another just young, raw prospect. He's got 90 speed, absolute burner. Also in the big leagues, we have Albert Amora Jr., who hopefully can, I guess, be something. I don't know if he actually will be or not. Michael Ciani or Ciani, I don't know how to say his name. I never knew how to say his name, but he's also here. B potential, 22 years old. He's going to be starting the season in AAA. Hopefully he will kill it in AAA. Shogo Akiyama, I know he just got released, I think, in real life. Or maybe not just got released, but he's going to be in AA. Maybe he turns into something. Probably not since he's 33. But I do like Shogo. I think he kind of got he just can't hit Major League pitching. That's his problem. We got the worst of the two Japanese players when the Angels were going to sign Shohei Ohtani. The Reds were interested in Shohei, and they offered him a deal, but the Angels just paid more. And so we ended up with Shogo. And Shogo's one problem is he could kill Japanese pitching, but he could not hit Major League pitching. That was his big issue. And so I think he got designated for assignment as well, and he just got released. So I didn't bring him back. He was on this roster, I think. So we're just going to keep him in AA, see what happens. Maybe he turns into something, maybe not. If anything, he's a good veteran to mentor the good guys or the young guys in AA, like Jay Allen. And then we move on to the final position, right field, with Tyler Naquin, Austin Hendrick. We've got Trey Ambergy, who nobody really here. TJ Friedel maybe could be something in the future, probably not. Who knows what's going to happen with right field? We've got a lot of work to do. That's the nice way to sum it up. This is what the lineup is going to look like for opening day. Jonathan India, Brandon Drury, Tommy Pham, Joey Votto at 4, Stevenson at 5, Farmer 6, Moustakas 7 at DH, Senzel at 8, Tyler Naquin at 9. This is one of the more realistic lineups that we're going to go with. This is basically how they have it in real life when everybody's healthy. So that's what we're going to do. We also have Amora Jr., Solano, and Matthew Nelson off the bench. So not a whole lot of great bench depth, which is something we're going to have to work on. And then the pitching rotation, we are going to start with Luis Castillo, as I mentioned, as the opening day starter. He'll get the bump against the Cubs. Then we got Hunter Green, Tyler Mahle, Mike Minor, and Graham Ashcraft. And then Lodolo will come in as like a long relief guy if we need to. Maybe during the season we switch him out for Mike Minor. Who knows? I'm most likely going to trade Mike Minor at the deadline. I was going to set my trade block up before the episode, but I decided I might as well wait until we actually get into the video to do it. So I'm going to put Mike Minor on the trade block. I'm going to put Kyle Farmer on the trade block. Moustakas certainly on the trade block, although I don't know if anybody wants his money. He's making a lot of money. I'll put Senzel on the trade block, Drury on the trade block, and that's probably about it. I'll put Alberto Amora Jr. on there just in case. And then we will go for certainly some relief pitching. We'll have that as positions we are seeking. We want to get some third basemen in here, some shortstops, left field, center field certainly, and some starting pitchers. But actually, you know what? We don't need left field. Let's go for starting pitchers. We need starting pitchers, we need relief pitchers, and then we need third base, shortstop, and center field. Those are more of our biggest needs. I guess starting pitcher is not really a huge need. Maybe left field is a bigger need. It is in terms of rank. So we'll go with left field or third base, shortstop, left field, center field, and then relief pitcher as our biggest needs of something. But we need basically every position. Those are things that we absolutely need, every single position. As terms of the budget, we have $57.69 million in budget. Joey Votto making the most money. His contract is up after next season. He was on that infamous 10-year deal or 12-year deal or whatever it was that he was on after he won the MVP. He signed a massive contract, and it's still going. This is still the same contract he's been on. Then we got Moustakas, who's making the second most amount of money. Like I said, he is one of the more guaranteed guys to be gone at the deadline. Mike Minor, probably going to be gone. He's making $9 million. Maybe a playoff team can use him for a playoff push in October. And then really nobody else is making like a ton of money. Like we can get away with a lot of this on our books. Just these two guys are making the most, and then these two probably going to be gone off the books, so we'll have even more money depending on who we trade for. Now, I have given a lot of thought to how I want to do this series in terms of how realistic I want to get, and I haven't fully decided yet if I want to go like completely super realistic, or if I want to maybe like ease up a little bit and maybe have like a semi-realistic, semi-unrealistic thing, or maybe lean a little bit towards the unrealistic side of things. Because if you followed me for a while, you've seen my other two channels, the MLB or the World of Juice channel, my main channel, and then the World of Juice Hoops channel. On the Hoops channel, I have a realistic series with the Oklahoma City Thunder that I'm currently doing, and I stay pretty realistic with that series. But then on the Juice channel, the World of Juice channel, the main channel, I have a few series, and most of my series, unless I specifically say it in the title, most of my series lean more towards the unrealistic side of things. And that's because so many YouTubers and so many people on this platform, when they're doing a franchise series, tend to stick to more realistic things because that's what they like. And I like realistic stuff too. I think it's fun. I like doing real life stuff. But so many different people do that it just gets boring after a while. Like, yeah, oh, you're doing a realistic rebuild, or you're doing a realistic franchise? Oh, congratulations. Well, how about I lean more towards the unrealistic side of things, and then I'm in the minority. Then I am like interesting. I'm new. I'm different. I'm doing something that not a lot of people are doing. So that's probably where I'm going to lean towards. I'm not going to go like off the books, I wouldn't think, and trade for like Mike Trout or something like that. But if in a couple of seasons we get to the free agency period where Shohei Ohtani's in free agency and I put a bid in on him and I get him, I'm not going to be opposed to that. And I hope you guys aren't too. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for this series. Like if I go to the trades and I make a trade, and I don't know, let's see who's a good example is Shane McClanahan, one of the best starting pitchers in the MLB. Young, super talented. I would be in on getting him. I know it's not realistic because the Rays would never think about trading him for, especially to the Reds. Or similar with Wander Franco. Like if I throw in Hunter Green, which I would never do, and Tyler Stevenson and Joey Votto, actually he wouldn't even get it done. What do I have to give up to get this done? I don't even know. It would probably have to be, I don't even know if I could get it done. No, they're not interested in Aristides Aquino. The Punisher doesn't get it done. So I guess Shane McClanahan's probably a bad example, but if I like I'd be open to doing that. Wander Franco probably along the same lines. Wow, he doesn't have as much value as I thought he did. But if we go to the Blue Jays, Alek Manoah is one of my favorite pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. And if I were to throw the Blue Jays Hunter Green and Joey Votto, which is something I'm not going to do. But I could do this deal and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like I know it's completely unrealistic, but it's something that I think would spice up the series and make things a little bit more interesting. Because at the end of the day, it's just, I'm trying to make as much interesting content for you guys to watch as possible. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like if I want to try and go out and trade for Ronald Acuna Jr., I could maybe try. That's probably a little bit too much. But if I want to go try and trade for Bryce Harper, then I certainly can try and do that. Like Bryce Harper would not be hard to get at all. We'd have to give up some decent young prospects, I would assume. But if I throw in like Tommy Pham and I give them somebody, actually he might be a little bit harder to get because I'm not giving up a crazy amount. Like if I give up, maybe not Tommy Pham. If I give up McLean. And then, actually, no, well, I don't know if I have enough pieces to get Bryce Harper. But he's along the kind of lines that I could, like Juan Soto. He just turned down $440 million in real life. Maybe not just, but he turned down $440 million. But if I want to try and trade for Juan Soto, I can try and trade for Juan Soto. I probably won't ever have enough pieces to get him unless he comes into free agency. What's his contract? He's going to arbitration the next 2 seasons. But I mean, if I end up having enough to get him, then I certainly will try and do that. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I'm not going to go absolutely off the walls crazy, but I'm not going to stick to super, super realistic. That's just not the kind of stuff that I enjoy watching. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I enjoy watching super realistic series. I watch a bunch of them from other different YouTubers, but I like to be a little bit different on the platform and separate myself from those guys. So if you enjoy that too, then welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed this series because I think it's going to be pretty fun. But if you think that it's kind of stupid that I don't want to be super realistic, then that's your opinion. I completely understand if you think that way. I'm not going to hate you for it if you choose not to watch these videos because they're not going to be super down to the book realistic. But hey, that's what you want to watch. I mean, it's your viewing. You don't have to click on the video if you don't want to, but I'm just not going to put realistic in my video title when I title this video. So that's going to do it for this initial opening episode. We met the team. We talked about the series. Next episode will be opening day against the Cubs, and we'll go into scouting. I'll talk about that. We'll do simulating the month of April. We'll do all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a big episode next episode with opening day and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys do go and enjoy this series. If you do, leave it a like. If you like this video as well, leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my other channels. World of Juice is the main channel. World of Juice Hoops is the second channel. I've got plenty of content on both of those channels if you want to go watch. If you like Madden, if you like 2K, if you like other MLB The Show stuff, if you like NCAA, I got a bunch of stuff on those channels. So go check them out if you want to. Or if you want to stay here and stick with the MLB The Show content, then you can feel free to. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate you all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.